Welcome to hashtag 52 Needs, and we are in week 6 and we're full of hope. And I have with me Bron who is a business owner and entrepreneur. She's a mom of 5 boys, married to Paul, who is equally lovely, and she's a breast cancer thriver. Bron may have begun her career in nursing, but she developed a passion for education and completed a master in professional education and training thereafter. And for the past 10 years, she has provided education, support, and inspiration to thousands of entrepreneurs through personal mentoring and online programs so that they too can be successful and achieve their dreams. Bron had a diagnosis of breast cancer, and now thriving in business and life, she realizes more than ever how important it is that we connect with the ideal customer and the right message at the right time to the right people and the ones that matter. So there's a lot of hope there.
There is a lot of hope. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. I thought it was fabulous that here we go. We're both in polka dots.
You got to laugh.
Not planned. I can promise everybody that.
No, Angela's in Brisbane and I'm in Port Macquarie. And no, we did not plan our polka dots.
Okay, so hope.
Hope.
Let's talk about hope. So you are breast cancer thriver.
Yep.
That you have pretty much remodeled yourself. I mean, you have accommodated yourself and who you are and your needs into your business, and you're encouraging your clients to do the same thing.
That's right. I am. Back when I first started my business, so back into 11 to 10, I can't remember, Nurse Power. So that was my first business. I didn't know a thing about business. So coming out of nursing, coming out of education, entrepreneurship, it looks easy.
Yeah, that's
that hard. You build this course and you build a website or whatever, and people are just going to come, which clearly is so far from the truth. It's not funny. But what I do know about hope is at the time, I obviously had a dream based on zero anything, because I wanted to make a difference in nursing at the time around empowering nurses to look after themselves first. And that's what Nurse Power was about. But I followed a mentor. So I just did what I was told because I didn't know any different. And so I literally built a business that ended up being a beast. So back in 2017, because the Bron branded, I started that in 2013, and that was basically teaching people to do what I did, which is how to build online courses and use Facebook and lead generate and all this sort of stuff. And then I ended up obviously overnight with a diagnosis of breast cancer. And there's nothing when you end up in that wheel of treatment. And it was a 9-month wheel of treatment for me. It was a very long treatment. And, I wanted to keep things normal, right? So you've got this business and you want to be normal. And I remember in the December, I'd run a Facebook Live into my private group, into my mastermind group, hours after having chemotherapy. And I was so sick. So my hair fell out within 2 weeks of starting chemotherapy. I was so damn sick, it wasn't funny. And I remember I caught a glimpse of myself because I was having treatment in Sydney. I caught a glimpse of myself in a mirror. And I looked at myself and I said, Bron, do you want to die? Like, do you seriously want to die? Because if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to die. Because I was so hell-bent on helping other people that I built this business based on what another person had thought was right. I didn't know that it wasn't right. I knew all along, actually, Angela, that it was not right. And that's where the remodeling started on that day, because it was like either me, my life for my kids and my family, or the business. And I'm not saying, but it was the hope. And I think that where the hope came in, because when you're going through stuff like that, you only have the day, because you don't know what tomorrow brings. You don't know what the next treatment is going to do. You don't know what the scans are going to show. You don't know. And I used to have what I called left turns, and I kept having all these left turns. Oh, Bron, it's okay. It's not in your lymph node. Oh no, we've got that wrong. In actual fact, it's quite advanced and it's in your lymph node. So we're going to treat you like this. Oh, you're allergic to the chemo. Here, let us give some more drugs. So this is where hope comes in. Is I really truly believe when people are building business or in business full stop, do what makes you happy. And I know that people talk about, happiness and, gratitude and all that sort of stuff. But if you build a business that is not in alignment with you, you're stuffed. It'll cost. There's a cost there. There's always an opportunity cost, right? We already know that. You know that. So to me, this is where hope comes in, is the belief in yourself to choose what is right for you no matter what.
And that's something that we often don't do. We force fit ourselves into, or pretzel ourselves into something that somebody else said we should be doing. Okay. So, but we also live in times now where business is really not that easy at the moment.
No, it's not.
So do we have to compromise ourselves in order to make that happen? So we can keep the hope going that we will, eventually, and I hate the expression, and I use the word hate deliberately here, the word new normal, because what is normal anyways? What are we hoping for?
That's exactly what I'm saying, is what's normal for you and what's normal for me are two different things. So obviously with a pandemic, with a change, with the economy, we don't know what 2021 is going to hold. What we did learn in 2020 was to expect the unexpected. And, business perhaps may not roll the way it used to, especially for industries who are in the ones who aren't surviving. I went to listen to the guy who, I can't remember his name, I should remember his name, from the CommBank, and he's the head chief economist. And there's those who are thriving, there's those who are surviving, and then there's those who are going to bottom out. How hard would it be to know? Is it time? Is it time to fold up what you're doing and to pivot into something else? It's a really tough call. And this is where hope, and I think you and I have talked about hope, we've talked about faith, we've talked about how to, negotiate with yourself through this process.
Yeah.
Because there's so much we cannot change. There is so much that is out of our control. But we can, I truly believe, and because I've done this, I know it's to be true that we do think ourselves into results. So if we focus on bad economy or, and it's not that I'm saying let's disregard a pandemic, it's despite the pandemic, how do we want to feel? Because, even if you're having to radically pivot or radically change what you're doing, it's very stressful, but we can manage, that's where the hope comes in, going that, what?
But I think what we need to do is, and I don't like the word we need to do something, but I think it's important to differentiate the different kinds of hopes there are. There's desperate hope, and passive hope, where somebody may just hope that they're going to be rescued. Something will turn the corner, something will happen, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they do anything about it. It's the active hope.
100%.
The one that says, okay, here's hoping for the best possible outcome. Here's hoping that the light is at the end of the tunnel. And I will do my best to move towards that. Instead of just sitting and going,
that's
it's
right.
Anyways.
A very dear friend of mine, Barbara Dowse, says, and it comes from someone else, which is, do not let circumstances steal your dreams. And I think that's where active hope, because to me, when you have hope, when you have a vision, or when you have something it's going to be different, better, whatever, however you want to look at that, it's the steps and the implementation, in terms of the pivot for us in the Bron Watson brand. I literally shut that mentoring program down overnight. Not an easy decision. And there was backlash. Let me tell you, there was backlash. And I've ended up, I'm running a social media agency. Like, where did that come from? But it's where it came from clearly is that I had a dual career for 25 years, and one of those careers was marketing. But besides all of that, it's like going, who would have thought that we are where we are? But it comes, I think, with being open to opportunity, which is open to active hope, open to that, okay, it's not going the way we want, or, that we are dealt circumstances or an illness or a tragedy.
Yeah.
Because we can't change that, but we can go, right, despite that tragedy, despite that illness, Bron, you can either sit back and, wait for the cancer to come back, Because let me tell you, that's part of, you know, for those of us who have had a diagnosis of cancer, that you live with that space. You live with the fact that, what's going to happen if it comes back?
Yeah.
Well, I choose to not look at if it comes back, choosing to look at, okay, I got all these super cool things over here.
Yeah.
That's hope. That's active hope. I have a hat that has hope on the background, because when you're going through trauma, tragedy, all you have, I believe, is hope.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is why you are a thriver, not a survivor.
Exactly. And I, you know, I get triggered when someone says, oh, so you're a breast cancer survivor. No, Survivor's a show where people wear bandanas and they do stupid things and eat bugs. Ain't me.
Yeah.
I'm like going, you know what? I got today, and how am I going to make it? And it's what's some cool things, or what's within my control? What can I achieve?
Yeah.
The courage, you know, the old serenity prayer.
Yes.
The courage to change the things I can.
Yeah. And that applies in every area of life. And especially, I mean, I think in business, it's really recognizing that as well. It's really,
I agree.
It's about sitting there and saying, what can I control at the moment? Because randomly pivoting into any area where I think maybe I'll end up on the Commonwealth Bank list in the companies that are doing it, you know, have a look and see what is it all about. And as you said, you know, hope is, you know, it's such a, there's so many metaphors around hope, but hope is so important to us. And we need to be able to find that in every area of life. And if you are just doing your job because it's the job, you know, start thinking again. It doesn't matter whether, as you said, whether there's a pandemic or not. Just find out something that fuels you.
Yeah. And you know, some people may not like what I'm about to say, but to me, it's about responsibility.
Yeah.
It's about being responsible for what I can do, because, you know, there are businesses who literally overnight gone. Training, you know, training organisation, things that where they were all face to face. So I appreciate that, you know, there's been some real big shit shows is the best way to put it, really. But the thing is, there's a choice. The choice is how you handle that from a response. I'm not talking about taking responsibility. What I'm talking about here is managing your feelings. It's okay to feel ripped off, and it's okay to be triggered. You know, they're okay to go, well, you know, in like now, like Facebook's being a shocker with terms of what people see and don't see.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, how do I manage that for my clients? Well, I can either get really annoyed at Facebook, like clearly what can I do with the algorithm? Sweet, nothing. Or I can go, cool, why are we there? What purpose are we looking for that part of our businesses? And so it's like going, cool, well, I'm using it for a very specific reason. I'm looking for the click. I'm looking for something very specific, which is different to what we're doing here on LinkedIn. You know, but it comes back to, I believe, again, that ability to go, okay, acknowledging what's not working and going, okay, well, if that's not working, what if I try this? What if I test that? But not getting, to me, it's not being emotionally attached to things if they work or don't work.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think emotionally attached from a place of sentimentality, and this is what I'm really passionate about. You know, because I'm just passionate about it, is different from I'm passionate about it because I know this is going to make a difference and I know I can make a living with this. This may not be the best time, but if I keep going, then hopefully things will change because I've got a system. I know there's a client base there. I know I can make things happen.
Yeah, so, you know, even there's a local guy here who's a dog. He's a dog trainer, right? Warhope. So if anyone who knows where Warhope is, near Port Macquarie, it's a little town. You know what that guy did? He took his dog training online, dug in. It's not easy to build an online course. Let me tell you, I've built multiple online courses. It is not an easy feat, but is it doable? Yes. The guy is thriving.
Yeah.
Like he never has thrived before because he's showing up differently, but he's also showing up in a way that's unique. So, you know, it doesn't matter how many dog training courses there are. There's no one like him from the guy out the back of Warhope.
Yeah. And that's hope. But that's productively channeled hope. He didn't start a business of cupcakes, you know, online cupcakes, because that was not his expertise. He went into an area where he knew he was good. He knew he already had some experience, and he knew that, you know, he could build on something that, you know, so yeah.
Like I was so excited to hear that. And, you know, there's another company who it's called the Q Deli store, and they make sauces and all sorts of stuff. Well, guess what? They're all online now.
Yeah. That was their area of expertise. They didn't start. Again, I'm all in favor, whoever's listening to this, of starting new businesses. But when in times like this, if you really want to be hopeful that you can build a business, start doing something where you already have some expertise, where you have already a basis of some sort, a foundation that you can build on.
Yes, I could not agree more. You can literally monetize anything. I have literally seen, you know, as I said, dog groomers and dog walker. I've seen a dog walker go over 6 figures, you know, and it's just called, you know, it's not luck. It's hope, but it's active hope and determination with that. And it's not even the never quit thing, right? Because you've got to keep testing and measuring and testing and measuring. And the testing, okay, it's all big, you know, let's call it failure, let's call it whatever you like. It's just testing and measuring. Some things get results and some things don't. But the difference thing is, you can be the person who stops, or you can be the person to go, hey, I'm going to test and measure something else. And it's like, if you don't know the answer, do you know how many people there are? There's so many people around who can help you in your field. I stick to just organic, social media. I can do end to end if I want to. But I choose not to, and I choose to stay to my lane. And I think that's the key here, is sticking to your lane.
Yeah, I totally hear that. I had a client call me the other day and said, can you do that? And I said, I could, but I wouldn't do a great job. They're experts who do this much, much better than I do.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Let me give you some names. So, yeah.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Stick to your lane. But, you know, and this is where I think you, now more than ever, is the time to collaborate as businesses.
Yes.
And not just at a local networking event, online, collaborate and strategically be in alignment, because, you know, one voice equals 2 voices equals 4 voices, you know, so it's literally is an opportunity tree.
Yeah.
But you've got to play the game, and it starts with showing up even when you don't want to.
Keeping the hope.
Keeping the hope. That's right.
That's a good place to finish. Thank you so much, Bron. This has been delightful. And we will continue this conversation offline. I know. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And I hope this was interesting and that you found it useful. And I'll see you next week.
Bye now.
Bye.